So I haven't done a cooking video in a while. I hope I can complete this one. We're a little bit of a diet restriction with the cavity stuff that we're doing, the cavity reversal, and I have some other videos talking about that. So I'm trying to incorporate bone broth as much as possible. So I'm going to boil a bag of cauliflower in some bone broth and then use it in mashed potatoes. I'm sprouting some cashews, raw cashews. They've been soaking in water for a few hours. I'm going to make that into a cashew cream and also mix it in with mashed potatoes, mashed cauliflower, and the bone broth, and then maybe salt, pepper, just to incorporate some things that I know Ivan needs for his cavity. I'm also making meatloaf, and the recipe is a pound of ground beef, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 cup of chopped onion, 1/2 cup of chopped peppers, green peppers, 1 egg lightly beaten, an 8-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and you can find that organic, easy, and very affordable, and then a 1/4 cup of oats. You can also use cooked quinoa. I've done that. I've done rice. I avoid breadcrumbs unless they're homemade, but that's just more work. And then tonight we're going to skip out on the topping that I usually make. It's 1/3 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of mustard. Reason being, there's sugar, and there's sugar in the ketchup as well, and not only are the boys avoiding sugar right now, but we are as well with our 30-day challenge that we're on the last week of. So no gluten, no sugar, and so that's going to be our dinner. I'm thinking of possibly sauteing some spinach or kale on the side as well, but we've already had green beans today and kale in our smoothies, so I may just do a simple meatloaf and cauliflower potato mash. I'm going to get my ingredients prepared and then show you what's next. Alright, so I've got my 2 pounds of organic, locally raised grass-fed beef. This is from our farmer's market. I love this company. We buy our eggs from them and all our meat. And there's another farm that has raw milk and raw goat's milk and eggs. Also, they have eggs too, but we buy our eggs from them. And yeah, it's just awesome to have a great farmer's market nearby. So now I need salt, pepper. I know somebody will ask. My oats are from Azure Standard. I talk about it all the time on other videos. And I am doubling the recipe, so just pay no attention to how much onions and peppers I have and how much meat I have. I'm hoping this will last us till tomorrow. I had a very awkward experience today, and I hope I handled it well. I have a Facebook account, and somebody from college, a guy, touched base with me asking to meet up and catch up. And he knows I'm married. It's nothing like that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to a coffee shop with an old friend from college, especially because I don't really remember him. I don't remember anything about him except that I remember thinking he was a little odd. So I avoided his message for a few days, and then he wrote back. And even if I didn't think he was odd, I wouldn't go, you know. And I wrote back. I was like, man, honestly, I just feel uncomfortable because it's, you know, you're a guy. I would never meet up with a guy by myself. You're welcome to come over to our house as a guest, and you can meet my husband and children, and we can catch up that way. And he was pretty offended. So now I'm wondering, did I do the right thing in even mentioning anything, or should I have just said I can't, sorry, you know? I think I should have just said I can't, sorry. But something in me wanted me to communicate that it will never happen, you know? So, awkward, uncomfortable. I hope I never bump into him anywhere. It's going to be so awkward. And I know I offended him. He responded pretty upset. So, It's hard sometimes, really, to know what to do, you know? This is enormous. And now I have to dig my hands through this. Blech. I'm going to turn the camera off so I can get dirty. You don't have to watch me do the whole thing, but, well, I could just use one hand. But you know how to do it. Just mix it all, make sure everything's incorporated evenly throughout the meat, and I'm good. And I still have to add the eggs. I just haven't done that yet. I switched to a bigger bowl, and I'm keeping one hand clean. And adding the eggs. I wish that I could do flax meal as the egg replacement for meatloaf, but I'm not sure how that will go. If anybody knows, let me know. And I don't know if I already said this, I got a bigger bowl because that one was just too small. And this is pretty much all incorporated. I love this recipe because I feel like the ingredients are healthier than your typical roast beef meatloaf. And the diced tomato can makes it so moist. I love it. You can't accidentally dry out this meatloaf. It's awesome. Usually I let it cook for a while, then I drain some of the grease, and then I bake it a little longer. The oven's at 375, by the way. Shape it. And now I will have to wash my hands. It's funny how when you have ground beef, if you have burgers or meatloaf, I feel like it goes so much faster than if you have just 1 pound in spaghetti, for example. It's like, since it's just one solid piece of meat, you eat through it a lot faster. So 2 pounds to make meatloaf is what we need for my family to be satisfied. But 1 pound for spaghetti is more than enough, you know. Since we've been on this 30-day challenge, the one request my husband has made is to make meat a lot more often because, you know, 2 shakes as meal replacements a day, and just like a hard-boiled egg and some nuts and seeds and raisins as a snack. He gets home, and if I just serve him a salad, I think he'll die. If not of hunger, of crankiness. So he's requested meat, and we're just happier when we eat meat. We're fuller. The kids behave better at night. It's like, I don't know, you know. So we definitely still have meatless nights, but I really like when we have meat. I love meat. And as long as it's organic, I'm totally okay with it. So I'm done with all this. I'll clean that up in a minute. Now I'm just going to get some water boiling and get some potatoes cut up. I'm going to leave the skin on just to avoid the extra work. I'm going to do 6 potatoes plus that cauliflower. I'm doing 4 Yukon Gold and 2 red. Up into big chunks and let them boil. I haven't even started boiling the water because my big pot is occupied with bone broth, so I'm just going to have to use another pot. You can never have too much kitchen stuff, right? Although you can manage with just what you got. The other day I cut a potato, a big potato, like a big baking potato, directly in half down the middle, and it was completely hollowed out with black and maggots in it. You would have never known from the outside. So imagine if we had baked that potato and then cut open and for dinner. Oh, that would have been horrifying. It's so weird how in the world they got in there. I'm just cutting off the black spots now, see? My kids call them boo-boos. This potato has a boo-boo. Alright, I'm going to set up a pot of boiling water, get these potatoes boiling. My cauliflower's boiling in the bone broth. My meatloaf's in the oven. It says an hour, but I keep going so I can drain the fat, and then until it's nice and crisp on the edges, that's when I consider it done. And then I'm going to strain this bone broth and store it up in the fridge. Okay, everything is clean. My bone broth is strained, and I'm just going to cover it with some saran and put it in the fridge. And this has been awesome because it's yummy. So the kids have been drinking a cup, like just whenever I give it to them. And it's so good for them. I'm going to make my cashew cream next. So blender, which has been on the counter for a month since we make shakes every day. We stopped putting it away. I think it's in here. Yep. So with cashew cream, I've made it for with you guys before. All you do is soak raw cashews and then rinse them and then blend them with some water in the blender until they're creamy like cream. And you can use it to substitute any recipe that calls for cream, which is so awesome. Obviously, this is healthier. Unless it's raw cream from the farmer's market, skimmed off the top of your milk jar. The cashew cream is ready, nice and smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and puree the cauliflower in here too. I didn't plan on that, but it makes sense that I should. And that's good, that way it'll be nice and smooth. And I can just dump all of this puree into the KitchenAid until the potatoes are soft and ready to mash. And I'm going to save this bone broth to add to the mashed potatoes. Okay, I'll be right there, baby. I'll be right there. I might need to add some of this to this now. Couldn't even see the blender in action. Okay, so this is pureed. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my KitchenAid bowl. And that way I can clean my blender and go relax until the potatoes are ready. now wash this. Got my potatoes going, the meatloaf's going, and I'm going to save this bone broth. And that's it for now. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. After looking frantically for my baster, I found it in the bathtub. I forgot that the kids were playing with it yesterday. The potatoes are done, but I'm just letting them sit in the hot water so that they'll stay hot. Reheating mashed potatoes isn't always the best, so the meatloaf's not done yet, and I want to make them closer to serving time. But I just looked at it, and it's like it's swimming in grease, so I'm going to squeeze some out. Do it in a cup for safer access. This is how much I got out of it this time. I'll probably have to squeeze some more out or pull some more out in a little while, unless it toasts up, and then I'll just leave it in there for moisture. So I'm pretty sure the meatloaf's done. I gotta get it out of the oven. I transferred the boiled potatoes into my KitchenAid with the rest of the cream, and I'm adding about a teaspoon and a half of salt and some pepper. Hey buddy, what's up? Tell Mama what is it?
Look!
Did it fall out?
Yes!
And I'm just going to mash this up, stir this till it's nice and smooth and creamy. I also decided to go ahead and make some sauteed spinach, so I just lined the pan with olive oil and it's heating. And I'm just going to throw this whole container in. Cover it up for it to wilt. It's good to add your seasonings before it's wilted, because then they like stay in one spot since they don't distribute well. So I'm going to do just a little garlic powder, salt and pepper. A little garlic powder. And salt and pepper, and stir it up and cover it up. Just a little bit. What'd you find? And the funny thing about greens is it looks so big in the pot at first, and then when they wilt, it's like nothing. Just tossing this real quick by hand. I usually mince up some garlic and saute it with that, but I've already been cooking too long. I'm done. And my husband should be home real soon. That mashed potatoes should be ready real soon. And I'm going to pull the meatloaf out of here so it can start cooling off for serving. So this is the final product. The mashed potatoes are delicious. The meatloaf is the same as usual, but man, I love the topping that we omitted tonight. It's alright though. We're sticking to our diet, and we're still going to enjoy it thoroughly. And then delicious, fresh, sauteed spinach.